What's going on, guys? It's Jeff, and as you can see clearly on the screen here, we have begun the final stretch to unlocking the Orion camo. We should have it within the next day or so, to be honest with you. I honestly would try to blow through the majority of the weapons tonight and potentially unlock it, like, you know, in a, I don't know, 12 plus hours or some shit from now. But number one, I don't think I'm gonna do that because there's also a UFC event on tonight. But also, the Joker is no joke. It's really not. I was very, very wrong about what the challenges were yesterday. I was not correct. Turns out that the melee weapons here are actually, does it still show the challenge? Yeah, 10 kills from behind. They also needed, I think, like 15 or 20 kills from behind with the knife, which I don't have yet. I have 8 polyatomic things unlocked right now. So I currently have the riot shield and all of the sniper rifles polyatomic, along with these 3 here. That makes 8 of them. I'm currently on the Bryson 890. These things are, like, the headshots are no problem. It's mostly the fact that I am juggling this thing in the background. It is so difficult. I understand that people are telling me to go and run around and knife and stuff like that, but it is not easy. I don't know. My lobbies do not allow for that. See, the riot shield can work in its own cheesy ways. Knifing, I can kind of make it work on corners and stuff like that because it's one shot. Trying to come around the corner and melee somebody twice in my lobbies, that's not happening. Also, really quick, I want to thank everybody that ended up subscribing yesterday and the day before. Basically, everybody that has subscribed since the release of this game. It has been crazy. We've been getting a few thousand subscribers every single day. Modern Warfare 2 is the biggest release that Call of Duty has ever seen, whether, you know, people like that or not. And trust me, coming from someone that absolutely hated Modern Warfare 2019, everybody knows. And I have no problem year over year crying and complaining. But the only thing that's difficult, really, in this is this Joker. Literally, every single time it's a pain point, no matter what. No matter what I try, no matter what challenge it is, it always just feels like a pain point. It's just so fucking slow, man. Oh, I'll show you guys a poly in game. Hold on, here it is. This map isn't the best one for showing it off, but this is easily the best camo in the game, in my opinion. I don't even think it's close. They're gonna have to update Orion to make that happen, but I mean, obviously gold and platinum are also amazing. They look great. All of the camos look great in this game. Camos are definitely a strong point in this game, in my opinion. It's definitely an upside to this game. Fire it off. Didn't kill anyone. How? Okay, well that killed 2 people. Why didn't mine kill 2 people? Mine didn't kill. Don't get me wrong, the blast radius for the Joker is absolutely massive, but that could have worked out in so many other ways where I didn't end up dead, and it just needed that headshot. I don't know how many more headshots I need for this, but it's not a lot. Oh, nothing happened. Okay, we're gonna fire another one. Dude, I'm reloading. I literally killed you with one hand. It's red. Come on, rocket. Double, double, double. This is why this shit is hard. Run around in melee with the Joker. Like, okay, I'll try. One. Oh my, wait, you guys are right. Where were all of you guys when the point was there? Why did you all show up so late? Okay, man, I get it, Harrier. You really wanted to kill me. I hate when it sits there and looks around for me like that. I'm like personally offended that the AI even looked at me. None of them are going for the point at all. I'm so confused. This is like the God lobby for this shit, and it's just not working. They're not. Usually in the CDL lobbies that I'm in, they usually like, they'll group up and they'll all jump on at once. They'll surround it, they'll all move in packs and shit like that. But as soon as they see or hear the rocket the first time and it doesn't kill anybody, or even if it does, they're not gonna let that happen multiple times. They adapt immediately. Usually you have to get like lobbies that are just filled with clueless people. These guys are multiple low levels in here by a miracle, and none of that, they're so low they're not even going to the objective. Like, how is my teammate just able to walk over there leisurely and fight nobody? Where is the enemy team at? Even though I know the players are terrible, they're not doing what I need them to do. That's the one thing I will give them a hand on for the most part for the challenges on this game. They have reduced the amount of challenges that requires other people to be doing things. Majority of the challenges on this game are just getting kills and just getting kills regularly. I feel like if there's any way that they want to make this, quote, like more difficult, just increase the amount of kills and stuff that you need per camo. Let everyone access the full potential of their weapons and shit like that, either at this same speed that you currently have it, or make weapon leveling a little bit faster, but make the camo challenges themselves a little bit more plentiful. I think that's a nice even middle ground. Don't add this extra shit where you have to, oh, you gotta get wall bangs, oh, you have to get kills behind cover, you have to get mounted kills, all this other shit. Like, yeah, they do have some mounted kills and stuff like that in this game, but the majority of the challenges didn't change up anyone's play style, so people just play the way that they play. Anything that doesn't change people's play styles up ultimately is what I'm looking for as a challenge. That's 1. Please just have 2. 1. Oh, I'm gonna get this. Pop. 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 How's that not a headshot? Headshot. When you pop that silence, it really just feels like you're gonna kill everybody. Oh, it turns out that a lot of the tuning stuff still doesn't seem to really do that much, at least for the most part, especially in terms of like the damage range thing. Go and check out Exclusive Ace's video, but basically it doesn't seem like it really does that much. It does seem to increase your damage range maybe by like a meter or something like that. Bullet velocity might be up by a little bit, is what it seems like. It does feel like it did make a bigger difference to the SMGs when I was using them. With an SMG, it's gonna feel a little bit more dramatic when you have a little bit more range and when you have a little bit more bullet velocity, because you could clearly feel the bullet velocity. So helping it at all is probably noticeable and isn't just all placebo. But it turns out for the most part, it actually kind of is placebo. It's doing virtually nothing. Please double, man. Yes! Yes! I'll never have to do this again either. Dude went 100 awareness, 0 intelligence. Oh wait, there is somebody in here. That was a really smart idea by me. Yeah, just to show you guys that I have it for all of these, by the way. This is the MCPR, that's Poly. The Signal, that's also Poly. And SPX, also Poly. I don't know if this is a good shotgun map also. And this thing can't kill anyone here. Yeah, there's no reason in playing that map. I don't hate that map. I actually really enjoy that map, but not for this. Once I get through the Joker, everything, all the other double kills won't be that bad. Do the same shit, except I don't have to predict anything. I just run up there with a, you know, a rocket launcher or whatever. I tried Hydroelectric, also not it. I was hoping that Hydroelectric, because it's mostly outside, it would be pretty good for, you know, launching the thing there. And there's like 2 or 3 good ones on the map, but overall it's just super annoying with the way that the amount of people that flank and all that shit. Just look how good this looks on a map that actually has color and shit too. Like, hold up. Oh my goodness. I mean, this is on low quality setting too. So the UFC card tonight is one of the ones that I'm more excited for. Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira. Oh, a double. That is a double. I was sitting here thinking maybe if I could get it to land on the top step, maybe the blast radius will kill anybody that's like over here, standing up here, maybe. Work for a double. We only need, what, 6 more? What is up with these lobbies? This is crazy. That shit is peaceful. That felt like a Modern Warfare 2019 lobby. What is going on? We could just do the marksman rifles. I mean, these are all great at getting headshots, so it really... that should be super simple and easy. Embassy has been incredible for me in terms of challenges. The amount of long shots I've gotten on this shit, I did a fuck ton of my challenges on this. Maybe the game is finally recognizing that I could be going negative, getting no mercy. Full-blown 8s lobbies are running my pockets. If that vehicle explodes and gets the kills instead of my javelin, does it count? My team is winning. Can I get in a game where we're like getting slaughtered and just like the other team is standing there on a head glitch and my team just runs in? You know what I mean? I'm looking for that. UFC event tonight, Carlos Olberg, Izzy's whole group back in there fighting and shit. Dan Hooker's there, Carlos Olberg, Brad Riddell, and Izzy are all fighting there. I think the only one that's like missing from that whole group is what? Blood Diamond? Matt Frivola versus Atman Azaitar. Somehow Azaitar isn't the favorite in this situation, but dude, Azaitar is, he's got a weird situation. Atman Azaitar is still undefeated, and he's back in the UFC after like getting cut after some weird shit like a year or 2 ago. We never found out what it was, but he's back in the UFC. I don't know. Aaron Blanchfield versus Meatball Molly McCann. Although Molly is definitely the more popular one in this situation, I don't know if Molly can win this fight. This matchup sucks for her. Aaron Blanchfield is incredibly talented and a great wrestler who was able to literally out-wrestle Miranda Maverick. I really like Miranda Maverick. I think she brings the shit every single time. I like all of her fights. I watched her ever since her debut. It was really surprising to me when that happened. So I have a lasting impression of Blanchfield in my head. And I don't see how, yes, Molly is definitely a really, really exciting fighter. Definitely has more knockout potential. I like Meatball, but I don't think she wins this fight. Which is okay. I mean, unless Molly really worked that wrestling and shit, but I don't know. All right, finish this off, and that's the last. So we're switching off of that. Let's go with, we could use the SPR next. That would be really, really fast. Brad Riddell versus Moicano. Moicano is always really tough, but Brad Riddell is a great striker. In the stand-up, I definitely see Riddell winning that, but if it starts getting like real dicey and shit, Moicano tends to thrive in those situations, it feels like. Whereas Brad is kind of, you know, hit or miss, so... it's not like Moicano doesn't have losses or anything like that, but recently, and matchup-wise, that'll be an interesting one, but I'm gonna pick Brad on that one. Frankie Edgar's final fight against Chris Gutierrez. Now, I've been a Frankie Edgar fan ever since, like, what, high school? Back when he became champion and everything like that, he was having his, like, trilogy with Gray Maynard. I mean, he literally has fought everybody. Fighting out of Toms River, New Jersey. The main reasons why I really liked Frankie Edgar. Also, he's a 155-pound champ, one of the greatest 155-pound champions we've ever had, and he beat all of the legends, fought all of the legends. He did it while while not even fighting at his natural weight class. 155, in terms of his measurements, he was smaller than everybody else there. And that, in my opinion, deserves a good amount of respect. Same way that I give DC a lot of respect to, you know, in dealing with literally a reach disadvantage in every single matchup that he has. It shows a superior understanding of the game and knowledge and being able to actually beat people without needing the physical attributes to do so. It's the skill set, and Frankie was just better. Now, obviously, time passes and everything like that, you slow down, and obviously when he tried to move down in weight, he lost all of the things that made him really special at 155. He wasn't as fast because other people were just as fast as him at that point when he moved down. I want Frankie to win this fight. I feel like they put this fight together for Frankie as like an easier-ish kind of fight for him that will allow him to kind of show his skill set as his final fight. I don't think he would take this fight if he felt like he couldn't win it. Gutierrez is good, but I don't think he's so good to where Frankie stands no chance or something. This is also the first unranked fighter that Frankie has gotten literally in like 10 plus years or some shit like that. That's how good he is. Frankie is a legend. And speaking of legends, Dustin Poirier versus Michael Chandler. This fight is gonna be for sure the most ridiculous one. I mean, obviously, I hope that all of them are good. I want this fight. There's no way on paper that this fight isn't fucking insane. These guys getting barn burners no matter where they're at. Chandler, this dude is entertaining as fuck to watch fight. He just is. My brain is telling me to pick Dustin Poirier. A part of me feels like if Dustin wins, okay, he gets a title shot and then loses to Islam anyway. I would like to see Chandler match up into like this Sambo wrestling style. Even though I do think that Makhachev would win that fight. I think it's a more interesting matchup than Poirier. But I feel like more people would be interested to watch Chandler match up into him than Poirier. We know Poirier can lose to this style already. And sure, yeah, he's not like ranked #1 or anything like that, but if he beats Dustin, he'll be very, very close. And again, we're watching a main event where the guy literally just beat Sean Strickland to get the title shot. Not that that's easy, but again, we're talking about matchups. That matchup was good for Alex. So matchup-wise, I think Chandler is a more interesting fight against Makhachev. But so I want Chandler to win, but my brain is telling me Dustin. Carla Esparza versus Zhang Whaley. So long as Whaley doesn't get taken down, she absolutely just mauls her. She should win this fight virtually in every single facet of it. She should win in the stand-up. She should win in the speed. She should win in the strength. She wins in size. Also, I think I'm going to change my anti-aliasing over to Filmic SMA. I think I'm just going to get over it because I cannot stand the dotted things. It reduces it. It doesn't get rid of it, but it does reduce it a lot. Feels like weapons actually look a little bit better with it, and I've always tried to make them look better, which is why I have my shaders thing turned up so it's reflective and doesn't look like shit. I think people need to put a little bit more respect on Carla Esparza, but you know, from her last performance to the way that she's won the belt in both scenarios, they're not really that exciting. Carla doesn't really have exciting fights, but Whaley has never fought a pure wrestler, and Carla's not going to stop shooting, but I'm going to pick Whaley. She should win that fight. And then Israel Adesanya against Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira beat Israel Adesanya twice. That's the whole thing behind this fight, because Alex realistically wouldn't even have a title shot right now if it wasn't for that history and the matchup. The fact that Izzy cleared the entire division out and there's no one else that's more interesting is the reason why they're now giving him, in my opinion, his hardest stylistic matchup, because neither of them are going to wrestle. Some people are talking about them potentially wrestling or shooting for a takedown. I feel like the only way that anyone is going to shoot for a takedown in this fight is if someone manages to get hurt. I don't think that it's going to be a part of like the game plan. I think obviously they have practiced it, they have thought about it, but they both know where their strengths are. In the first fight, Alex Pereira ended up winning a decision, which was very debatable that he had won that by decision. In my opinion, watching the fight back, I believe that Izzy did win that first fight. Alex looked very, very surprised. Izzy really did think that he won that shit, and Alex looked very, very surprised. They both looked over at each other like, wow. So then the second fight happened. Israel Adesanya, again, was winning this fight for the most part, ended up hurting Alex at one point, and the ref stepped in and saved him with a standing 8 count. I shouldn't say saved him, but a ref had to step in and give him a standing 8 count because he was not defending himself properly. Israel was hitting him whenever he wanted to, and he was loading up on right hands and swinging super, super hard. Very, very out of character for how he usually does it, but he wanted to put him away. In my opinion, Adesanya had won the majority of the rounds in the first fight, if not all of them. And then in the second fight, Adesanya was winning every round and hurt him until he wasn't winning, and he got knocked the fuck out. So more often than not, Izzy is winning the exchanges. Now it comes down to whether you believe that Alex is going to be able to land a shot for him. That was 5 years ago. Alex is the only 2-weight world champion in Glory Kickboxing. But also understand that this is an MMA fight. Now, I know a lot of people are thinking like, oh, why would an MMA fight matter if they're both just going to kickbox each other anyway? The biggest difference, I think, is the fact that it's in a cage, and the footwork is going to be a lot different. I've watched back all of Alex's fights in MMA, including the one that he's lost, and his footwork is definitely not as active as a lot of other fighters that you would see, especially at the higher levels of middleweight, when you see people like Robert Whittaker and Izzy, you know, flying around, dancing around around. The octagon also, because of, you know, obviously its shape, there's not really a corner. You can corner people into a ring with obviously 4 corners, and that's where Alex had the majority of the success against Adesanya, except obviously that knockout punch, which did happen in the center of the ring. But again, kickboxing range is different from MMA range. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, this guy is gonna make Adesanya engage with him finally. Pereira's just gonna walk him down. I don't think he has footwork for it. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think Pereira is really gonna be able to hit him that much. I think obviously he's gonna be able to hit him. Obviously he's gonna be able to connect, but I don't see him being able to connect cleanly. I saw that Pereira gets hit a lot by Izzy. In both of the fights, Izzy landed more strikes, whether they were harder or not, but he could hurt him in the bigger gloves. People are talking about how Alex managed to knock him out with the bigger gloves. Imagine what would happen if he landed with the smaller ones, but you also have to think the same for Adesanya. Adesanya landed more often and more accurately and countered more cleanly than Pereira did. And Pereira did manage to get hurt by him. It's not like he's not getting hurt. So now you have to sit here and think that Adesanya's strikes are also sharper. Although I really love this fight. I actually love the fact that they put this fight together. It's being put together mostly because Adesanya is so dominant. I think Adesanya wins this fight. If he doesn't, I mean, we got a trilogy and shit. It's all good. I can't wait for somebody to sit there and be like, you're wrong, haha. It's just what I think. I'm not hurt. I don't give a fuck. Although I will actually personally be hurt if Frankie Edgar loses. That's definitely the one that would hurt me most. We're already like halfway through this SPR and we're just bullshit. So I picked Dan Hooker, Frankie Edgar, Dustin Poirier, Zhang Whaley, and Adesanya. Good luck.